Hello, I'm Bud Murphy, a retired UU minister and current president of the Unitarian Universalist Justice Florida. UUJF is a state action network and one of 21 members of the Coalition of Unitarian Universalist State Action Networks that formed in 2015 and 2016. QSAN is an informal organization for collecting resources and facilitating connection among the individual state action networks. UUJF's three current broad issues are the health of our democracy, wealth disparity, and human welfare as impacted by, among other things, climate change and its impact on global warming and sea rise. We are just beginning to grapple with the more urgent and more recent COVID-19 pandemic. While UUJF focuses on the state of Florida, we recognize that these three broad issues continue to have worldwide implications for humans and for all life on Earth. I hope that my comments this morning will encourage you to find out more about UUJF's initiatives and that you will get involved with our legislative advocacy and our justice work, because our work and the issues on which we focus impact you and your local community. Claude Steiner, an author who wrote Radical Psychiatry, succinctly describes the situation that many of us experience when he states that oppression plus mystification equals alienation. And the way out of that alienation is awareness plus contact, which drives action and leads to liberation from the oppression. Oppression is any force that threatens our life and well-being. Mystification is any form of communication that obscures reality, specifically through things such as deletions, distortions, and generalizations. Contact is the connection between humans that is graphically described in a series of commercials, perhaps you've seen, in which animated creatures deal with oppression through contact with others in solidarity, which enhances their power. UUJF efforts are influenced by the work of Direct Action Research Training, the organization called DART. You can find out more about DART on their website. If you have participated in Fighting Against Injustice Towards Harmony, or FAITH, the local DART organization, you may have personal experience of their effective strategies for building power through awareness and solidarity. Much of their approach to community empowerment is reminiscent of the community organizing strategies of Saul Alinsky, who wrote Rules for Radicals about how to successfully organize a movement of change, published shortly before his death in 1972. So how can we develop the awareness we need so that our solidarity is informed and effective? One of our primary initiatives is a legislative tracker developed and maintained by David Johnson, UUJF's current VP. It's accessible on our website, and it's a spreadsheet that tracks the movement of legislative efforts through the committee and legislative process. David uses the data to time action alerts, emails that he sends out to the network members, who then have the opportunity to contact their legislative representative in the House and Senate. Those who have been part of this initiative recognize the power of establishing a relationship with their representative over time. While there are times when our position for or against a piece of legislation may differ from their own, they welcome the analysis that we share and the consideration that some portion of their constituents support particular positions on that legislation. Those who visit our website and register, providing their full 9-digit zip code, will get alerts tailored to their local House and Senate district. Another example of informed actions are the initiatives of Jan Boer through our Climate Resilience Ministry. working with communities impacted by extreme weather and other actions that impact disadvantaged populations that often lack the resources to respond in the face of oppressive weather events, discriminatory zoning changes, or acts of irresponsible development that threaten the safety of their environment. Jan organized a photojournalism project that provided inexpensive cameras to youth in Panama City Beach that was impacted by Hurricane Michael. The young adults that participated are still experiencing homelessness or shelter insecurity, and the project gave them a way of dealing with that oppression and to raise awareness of the public and our state legislatures who are in a position to help with continued funding. Jan helps communities identify local leaders who are willing to help communities in low-lying coastal areas so that they can actually sample floodwaters and the soil for contaminants to create a fact-based foundation for remediation and preventive actions. On a more theoretical level, my daughter Molly is preoccupied, as many of us are, with how we are dealing with COVID-19 pandemic. She posted a CNN News article about the use of a supercomputer called Summit, located at Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Tennessee. Summit uses artificial intelligence to run simulations based on what scientists know about the virus and past interventions, and using speeds 1,000,000 times faster than today's laptops, it identified 77 drugs that might help in the development of an effective vaccine. We can superpower our research. In addition, each of us can be vigilant in this age of social media, where anyone can spread information that may or may not be true. We live in the information age, and in order to describe a current phenomenon, a new word has been coined: infodemics. We even use the term viral to describe the spread of these information bits. Traditional standards of freedom of speech that support expression of controversial subjects in public discourse are being re-examined. Just as we condemn shouting fire in a crowded theater, we may need to find ways to filter or hold people accountable for irresponsible postings of information that is not only without factual basis, but when believed may have harmful, even deadly consequences. I followed an exchange on the internet between my son and a friend, and it included the following. Okay, ongoing or recent tragedies. Syria, over 400,000 killed. Who knows how many animals killed? Who knows how many people and animals injured? And the majority of a country in ruins with massive amounts of people displaced, not to mention chemical warfare and countless strikes that are not kind to our planet. Displacement camps everywhere, people living in fear and squalor everywhere, often without access to basic needs, slamming them into survival mode. We were not created and gifted life to solely survive. Amazon rainforest fires. Let's burn our Earth's lungs for cows and soya and destroy homes, plant medicines, indigenous cultures, and the habitats of countless animals, finned and furred and feathered. Australian fires. After they finally got put out, which was after a month or two of intensity and loss of homes, habitats, and lives, loggers killed endangered, helpless, injured, and scared koalas who were in the way. Yes, they did. Siberian fires. I don't know much about them, but they had to have been tragic. California fires seem to be a yearly thing. Where do all the displaced go? Ice caps melting. All animals who require them to live, they're not doing so well. Our oceans full of plastic. Yet we keep producing more plastic, even though there are alternate solutions. The plastic waste kills massive amounts of marine life and chokes our waters. You know what else kills massive amounts of human life? Humans, backed by industry, and almost all done inhumanely. baby seals clubbed to death in front of their helpless moms, dolphins and whales sucked up into boats, leaving bloody trails, sharks pulled up to have their fins cut off, then tossed back out like trash, while still alive to die a horrible death of pain and suffocation. All fish overfished, so we farmed them in disgusting enclosures. And we're panicked over a new virus, which, yes, is going to truly hurt many people's lives on micro and macro levels. The economic pinch and the fallout is already being felt. And yes, we've lost about at least 5,000 lives to date worldwide. But you know what else? China's air is clear. Vienna's canals are clear. And who knows what other environmental benefits are happening. It's like, as one woman I know put it, the earth is taking a much needed breath because we're allowing her to. We had such a chokehold on her. I had the thought today, and hence this post, which many of you might feel is over the top and morbid, yet I'm not exaggerating anything. It's as though our Mother Earth has been in a very toxic, abusive relationship, and no matter how hard she tries, no matter what beauty and bounty and glory she shows, she keeps getting punished, pillaged, plundered, raped, murdered. She even gets her mountaintops blasted off for out-of-date dirty coal, the same coal that runs many of the plants in China and worldwide, which dirtied our air. It only took a month for her to clean her air for us to breathe again. And yet, I bet, the first chance man and industry gets, we will abuse her again. He's chomping at the bit to return to business as usual. But that isn't working. It has been for too long, yet we're so caught up in our ways of doing, we laugh off, scoff, scorn, attack, and slander those who look for, create, and present more viable solutions for living life in an extremely interconnected world as we move forward. I have a feeling these times might present another day of reckoning. I think there will be many camps, but as I foresee it right now, the two main ones will be camp socialists, who create necessary grassroots movements the way most major ancient and modern religious texts speak of as to how we should treat our fellow brethren and the very planet we were gifted to live our lives upon, and the camp destroyers who fend for themselves and create mass hysteria and riots. But I guess it's kind of always boiled down to these two camps, the ones who create and the ones who destroy, and create to destroy. And maybe, just maybe, we'll finally wake up to a new way of being. Ours is not sustainable as it is. 3 months in and we're already starting to crack, especially in the service industries. And also our skies and waters are already clearing. And also we're seeing just how interconnected we are. We're witnessing the butterfly effect at warp speed. Or this too shall pass and will resume, carrying on our per the norm we've established. There's more I could have included, such as failed prisons and justice systems, the environmental havoc that the border wall is creating, failed child care and protective services, children living in cages at the border separated from families, and sure, some traffickers, our lands and the abuse they endure, etc., etc., etc. Let's do what we can and take steps to foster a more resilient community where our solidarity makes us more successful as we cope with the next challenge. If you find yourself with time on your hand, and as you self-isolate, consider taking a look at another publication by Claude Steiner in another publication entitled The Heart of the Matter. I think you'll find his words demystifying and worth reading. You can get the link from my written words. Speaking of contagion, I saw another meme or message that said, also highly contagious is kindness, patience, love, enthusiasm, and a positive attitude. Don't wait to catch it from others, be a carrier. And another that said, after all, once this is over, what really will matter is how we treated each other. Together, we can bend Florida towards justice. Thank you for listening. I will post this transcript of this on the website with this presentation, and you can follow the links to other resources. Thank you very much.